Love lives here.
Okay, so I am so happy to welcome to the platform our beloved Ed Ryan. No pressure, Ed. Ed is one of our licensed practitioners and our beloved minister's husband.
Oh,
so
my mic's on, obviously.
Yeah, well, got to toss that in there. I'm not going to say that. Anyway, we are so blessed to have his beautiful presence here today to guide us in this visioning for our individual next yet to be. Ed has been visioning for his life for many years, and I know that this is an absolutely spectacular divine gift for this new year. Ed, it's all yours.
I'm on. Well, good morning, everybody. Good to see all your faces. And I see Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne. Good to see you again. So, like Dinah mentioned, we're going to go over the visioning process today. And before I get into the nitty-gritty details of it, I wanted to just share something with you as far as an image that came up for me in visioning when I first started, because it is a very, very powerful spiritual practice that if you practice regularly can make really amazing changes in your life. And I've been doing visioning since 2010. Reverend Jeff and I were actually in the same class together, and we were prayer partners and vision partners in that class, and we actually, as part of our assignment, used to call each other on the phone and vision over the phone during the week. And one of the images that came up for me during that class, well, let me just tell you what this image was. Okay, of course, we go into visioning, and I saw an image of myself kind of in this really, really tall tower in the middle of the desert, and around this tower were all these series of walls. On the outermost series of walls, it was lower, and then they just kept getting higher the closer in that you got in towards the tower. And I was looking out from the tower and saw this Mack truck coming from the distance. Sorry, drop something here. Saw this Mack truck in the distance coming and charging towards my ivory tower, basically, right? And I saw who was driving. It was Reverend Jeff. Now, if you can picture this, he had a cigar in his mouth, a trucker cap, a flannel shirt with the sleeves cut off, and he's driving like this, barreling through the desert and honking his horn. And I got to tell you, that image scared the life out of me. But it came up during the visioning process. And what that image was a seed that was planted in that moment. And it was really, when I looked at it and sat with it for a long time, because it did take a long time, it was about letting down my walls, right? I had lots of walls built up and afraid of relationships, afraid of letting my guard down with people, that kind of thing. And Reverend Jeff was going to drive through and knock down his wall. And that scared me. But what it did, though, was plant a seed. And gradually, through continued visioning, continued prayer, my walls eventually came down. It might have taken a couple of years to do so, but it was just the beginning of that process. So we will be working with visioning today. And, of course, our theme this year is Riverside Thrive, Living Your Best Life. And to support you in living your best life today, we're going to vision for what that could look like for you in 2023. Your vision for 2023 will serve as the foundation of your exploration for this year's theme. And basically, it'll be the foundation, the bedrock of your vision for 2023, and we'll refer back to that throughout the course of this year. And we'll keep referring back to it through each Sunday morning message and the classes that we're offering. And they'll be designed to support you in living your best life for 2023 and living your highest vision. So, are you guys familiar with visioning? Who here has visioned before? Okay, so most of you have, a couple have not. So basically what visioning is, it is a meditative technique that was developed by Reverend Michael Beckwith of Agape. You may be familiar with him. And he basically took that old practice of vision casting, like the Native Americans would do, and developed it into a modern spiritual practice. And basically what we do is go within, go into a meditative state, and ask questions of spirit. And you can see everybody should have received a paper today with the questions that we will be asking. If you have not, we'll be handing some out to you. A couple of people need one, and a pencil if you have it. All right, we're getting that for everybody. But basically, we go within and we ask spirit questions, and we allow spirit to answer those questions, and things come up for us while we're in the visioning meditative process. People get different things like images, sounds. I hear a lot of music sometimes. I'll get a lot of different songs, and Reverend Jeff calls me the human jukebox because I'll get a lot of different songs that come up, obscure songs from like 30, 40 years ago, a song by the Partridge Family from their old TV show. Just anything comes up sometimes for me. But it all depends on you. It's all different. Some people just see just words and phrases. Some people just get a feeling. In our vision group back in Vegas, one of the people in the group sometimes would smell things, like warm-baked cookies in the oven, that kind of thing. It's different for everybody, but don't judge it when it comes up. Just allow it to come up. And so, again, these basic questions that we're going to be asking are on this paper. Typically, there's 4 basic questions. What is God's highest idea for whatever you're visioning for? Today, it's for our lives for 2023. What must I release in order for this vision to be fulfilled? What must I embrace? And is there anything else to be known at this time? And then sometimes we'll add another question or 2, like today, question number 2. We added that. What does my soul most desire to experience and express this year? And so, like I mentioned, different things will come up. What we do suggest that you do during the visioning process is to write them down. So your eyes are closed during the meditative visioning process, and I ask, what is God's highest idea for my life in 2023? Wait for something to come up, and when it comes up, just open your eyes, write it down, and then go back into the silence. Close your eyes again. We will give you a couple minutes in between each question, so you have time to really sit with each question and allow things to come through. And one thing to point out is that visioning is not visualization. Does everyone kind of understand that? Visualization is where you already have a preconceived notion in mind, and you want to work towards that, or it's your goal for the year. Like maybe you want that new car or that new job, and you take that into the visioning. We don't want to do that. We don't want to take anything preconceived into the visioning because we're opening up to God's highest idea. So just let anything preconceived, any ideas that you already have, go and allow them to fall by the wayside and just be open and trusting in what's revealed by God through this vision. Does that make sense? And again, write things down, because sometimes if you don't write it down, like for example, with me, sometimes I get songs on a loop in my head, and I'll think, oh, that's silly. Why would I write down, Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim? People laugh at that or something, right? But it'll keep going through my head until I write it down. So even if it's silly, it doesn't make sense, just write it down. Maybe it'll make sense later, you don't know. But just come out of the silence, write it down, then go back in. All right? And so, are you ready to vision? Yeah. All right. So I invite you to take in a deep breath and just let it out. Close your eyes if you're comfortable in doing so. And in this moment, we recognize the presence of the One power, the one mind, that one that we call God. I know that it is all that there is. God is that love that supports and sustains all life. that peace that passes all understanding. It is that wisdom and intelligence with the answers to all questions, that clarity that dissolves all confusion. It is perfect balance and harmony, wholeness and perfection. It is the vitality and energy of life. And it is the clarity that dissolves all confusion. I know that God moves and breathes and has its being in and as all life and all creation. And I know that it moves and breathes and has its being in and as me, for I am one with this eternal spirit. I am one with its love, one with its peace, one with its joy. The wisdom and intelligence of God moves through me. And I know that as this is the truth for me, this is the truth for everyone present here. We are each one with this divine spirit, one with this emanation of love, one with this presence of peace. The wisdom and intelligence of God moves through each and every one of us. For truly there is only this one. And in knowing that, we come together to vision this day for our lives in 2023. And in doing so, we let go of any preconceived notions, any ideas that we have already had. We let go of anything that may block the way, any fears, doubts, worries, any separate sense of separation. We allow these things to simply fall away and to dissolve back into the nothingness from which they came. And in letting go, we allow ourselves to open up, to receive the impress of spirit, to be an open channel, an open vessel, ready to receive God's highest idea for our lives in 2023. And so we anchor our awareness in that presence of love. And just take a moment to remember a time where you felt pure, unconditional love. Whether it was from a parent, a child, a loved one, a friend, even a cherished pet. Just allow yourself to settle into that feeling that you had when you felt pure, unconditional love. And just allow yourself a moment to sit with that feeling of unconditional love and anchor your awareness in it. And with our awareness anchored in that presence of love, we ask the question, what is the highest vision for my life in 2023? What is the highest vision for my life in 2023? And we listen and we allow. What does my soul most desire to experience and express this year? What does my soul most desire to experience and express this year? And we listen and we allow. What must I release, let go of, heal, or surrender for this vision to fulfill itself? What must I release, let go of, heal, or surrender for this vision to fulfill itself? What must I embrace, embody, or become? How must I change or grow? Is there anything else Spirit would have me know at this time? Is there anything else Spirit would have me know at this time? So I just invite you to return your attention to the room. Open your eyes when you're comfortable in doing so. And I'll just give you a moment to finish up any notes that you may have. So how was that? So what we want you to encourage you to do is keep visioning. This is not a one and done. The visions evolve throughout the year. Reverend Jeff has uploaded a visioning session to the center's YouTube channel, so you can go there to have a guided visioning through there. And keep referring back and working with this throughout the year, because we will be keeping referring back to it during the services and through the classes that we're offering. And of course, every second Sunday is the visioning practice downstairs at 9 a.m. Dinah just did that this morning as well. And we just invite you to remain open and trusting to the vision. I wouldn't be married to Reverend Jeff right now if I hadn't been open and trusting to having my ivory tower knocked down, basically, having those walls knocked down. It did take a while. It was a process. That's why it's important to keep visioning. Years and years and years and years, those walls were built up, and it took a couple years to bring them down. So, again, we encourage you to keep visioning. And of course, practitioners are here to support you. And Reverend Jeff also has a class coming up starting February 18th that is visioning. So encourage you to sign up for that as well, because this really, really can be a life-changing practice, a powerful practice, and we just encourage you to keep doing it. All right. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and move into prayer. And so I invite the practitioners and core council members to surround the sanctuary. All right, so once again, let's turn within, taking in a deep breath and exhaling as we recognize the power of this moment, knowing that God is that power that is back of all things, supporting and sustaining all life. It is that peace that passes all understanding, that love that supports all life and creation. It is that wholeness and perfection, the grace that moves through and expresses in and as all life. It is energy and vitality, wholeness. It is the light that leads the way. It is freedom and joy and the infinite possibility of the boundless universe. I know that this day that I am one with God. I am one with its love, one with its joy, one with its freedom, one with its wisdom and intelligence, and the energy and vitality of God move through me. And as this is the truth for me, this is the truth for everyone present here this day. Everyone within the sound of my voice is a divine emanation of spirit, a perfect, whole, and complete expression of its love and its peace. And we are each one with each other. And there is only this one, as I now speak my word for this day. I know that we each show up in 2023 open and trusting and willing and allowing to have God's highest vision revealed in our lives. And I know that we embody that vision that has been revealed here this day, that we allow it to open up new avenues for our lives, new pathways, new avenues of expression. And we just simply trust and allow as we move forward with life by embodying this vision. And in doing so, we do the work that we need to do. We embrace that which needs to be embraced and release those things that no longer serve us. And we simply say yes. Yes to life. Yes to God. Yes to that higher vision. For we know that any vision that God reveals to us this day is much greater than any idea that we can think of on our own. So we allow ourselves to be the embodiment of that vision, to open up and receive that impress the Spirit, and to continue that practice throughout the year, knowing that as we do so, that life grows ever deeper in its meaning, ever deeper in its expression of love, and that we just simply get to be fuller and higher versions of ourselves. And in knowing that truth, I simply give great thanks for our willingness to walk this spiritual path, to allow ourselves to to be open and receptive to that impressive spirit. I give great thanks for all that has been revealed here this day, knowing that it is the truth, knowing that we are the living embodiment of spirit here and now. And I just give thanks as I release this word into law, knowing that it is done. It is already so, and I just allow it to be so, and so it is.
Love